Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about this podcast. It's called The DK Project, but it's really The Darren Show. The DK Project is a radio show, but without the radio. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
Let's go!
Today's episode is brought to you by the good folks at the Hair Studio in Chaska. If your hair's getting away from you, maybe a little grayer than you want it to be, a little shaggier than you want it to be, everybody's coming off the pandemic and, we need to restyle ourselves. So give the Hair Studio in Chaska a call at 952-368-0900. Located in the Mill Building at 500 North Pine Street in Chaska, Minnesota. Give them a call, 952-368-0900. Tell them you heard about it on the DK Project. Now, on to the show. Welcome back to the DK Project. We are, 150-something. Coming at you on Thursday. Coming at you on a Thursday with some new heat. Brought in the big guns today. Zooming in from Astoria. That's kind of New Yorkish. Astoria is Kristin Provenzano.
Okay.
Provenzano. That's actually, for all of my listeners who are trying to place that's actually High Greek.
High Greek, yeah, it's very High Greek.
High Greek. Provenzano. How far back do you got to go to get the Greek?
Well, I live in the epicenter of Greek town right now, too, which I have a lot of Greeks around me.
You are?
I have a lot of Greeks. And it's so funny, I'm never, it's so crazy sometimes, I'm half and half. I'm never Greek enough for the Greeks, never Italian enough for the Italians because I don't speak either language. And they just want to throw rocks at me and shame me. And they're like, what do you mean you don't speak Greek? And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Huh?
Is that a big thing?
Yeah, they get really upset if you don't know how to speak the language. And I'm just I had an employer who's from the same part of Italy my family's from, was Calabria, and he used to call me a wannabe Italian because I was half, and I was like, go fuck yourself.
You're just a half. You don't count.
I was get out of here. Yeah.
So, that's a real thing. All right. You don't speak anything?
No, I speak a little bit of Spanish, and then my ex is Chinese Laotian, so I know a little bit of Laotian, but that's about it.
Where does that come in handy?
When I'm talking to our friends or his parents back in Illinois, because I lived with him in Illinois before I moved over here as well. But
okay,
yeah.
so you've got homework already for the show.
Yep.
We need to enter the next podcast in Laotian. It needs to say, "Welcome to the DK Project."
Sabari.
Is that what it is? Or is that welcome?
You say sabari, but you have to be sabari as well. You gotta, do the little hand gestures.
Okay. So now we're into this. So. Is that an actual thing? It doesn't mean the same thing unless you're doing the little domo arigato move?
It does, but, especially with the older, me and my friends, my ex, we call them the OGs, we know how to respect. You want to, bow down when you're saying it. And when so when you're at a party and a lot of them are sitting on the ground, when you're walking through, you actually have to hunch over and walk around them like that because it's disrespectful if you stand up and just walk through them.
So you're going to parties and they're sitting on the floor?
Okay, so a lot of times, this is the thing, I don't want to stereotype all Asians, but a lot of them do love to gamble. So they're always sitting on the floor, on the ground, playing cards.
Here at the DK Project, we do not condone or about. No.
Yeah, but so they're sitting on the ground, so they love to play cards a lot, and they're in their little groups. And I did not realize how serious. I never really see serious gambling until I started dating my ex, and I was like, oh, they're very much into it. When my parents would gamble growing up, it'd be for a quarter, $1, and they're paying for 20s, 100s, 50s. So
really,
it's very serious. Yeah, but it's very fun to watch too. They get very into it. Their emotions really come out when they're playing, but they have a good time, so that's all that matters.
And meanwhile, you're walking around throwing your back out so that you can. Be respectful while they're just throwing cards. Okay. All right. I did not know. What kind of food what kind of food was the hotbed? When you went to his parents, what kind of food did you have?
Well, I know how to cook a lot of it. I was with my ex for a while. So,
that's from Laos. Is that what we're saying? Laotian. So what kind of food do they eat in Laos?
Okay. So, it isn't, I know what pho is, of course, right? Do you know pho?
I hate that shit. Actually,
you hate it?
You know what? I shouldn't jump to that. Across from my favorite massage parlor, there is a pho place, and my pho or no, my massage lady is Vietnamese, and she's like, "Oh, you got to go over to the pho place." I'm like, "All right, I'll go check it out." Just dirty water is all it was. But it might have been a shitty place. It might have been a shitty place. I don't know.
Yeah, you might have had bad pho. So I'm telling you, pho has had my heart since I've been eating pho for over 20 years now. It's amazing.
That. Really?
Where? I used to make it all the time. Yes, I used to make it.
What is it? Just wring out dish rags in a bowl and throw in some chunks of shit?
So if you want to do, I say the right way, you need to cook it for a long time with oxtail. People like to use soup bone as well. Soup bone to me, I don't like because it makes it very oily, and I don't like eating a broth where I can taste the oil all over my lips.
Where the fuck do you get an oxtail from?
Oh, you can get it from I really feel like any grocery store. I've seen them everywhere, honestly.
No shit.
And it's really good too. It's really, really good.
I don't know.
I eat everything. I'm huge into food, so the things that you would probably never eat, I guarantee I've eaten. So
what's the weirdest thing that you've had in the Laotian table?
Do you know what? I don't know. So I know Filipinos call it balut, where it's just the egg. I've had balut.
It's like the bird and the egg thing?
Yeah, I can't do it anymore. I haven't eaten it in so long. But when I first started eating it years ago, I was okay. But now it's very much a mind fuck when I look at it. So I can't do it anymore. I look and I'm like, how did you do this? How did you used to eat this?
Little crunchy bones.
Oh, well, sometimes we're not that. I mean, my ex's brother would like to eat them when it was I was like, is it about to chirp? I mean, that's how much he liked it.
If I go to, it's like a delicacy in the Philippines, but if I go to my favorite wing joint and there's a little abnormality on the wing, I'm not eating it. And you're eating the whole deal, oh, no.
But when I eat wings, they have to be extra, extra crispy. I am a texture person when it comes to wings. If it's like that gummy or if you bake the wings, I'm like, get out of here.
Leave them in a little long. I want a little crisp on them. That's damn sure.
Crisp. I need a crisp and a lot of blue cheese
so,
that ranch.
But you don't cook the balut. You just eat that shit raw, right?
Well, no, I think God, you know what? To be completely honest, I think you just eat it. They just buy it. Yeah, you just buy it. The raw from the store. Yeah, that's the way that they do it.
What the hell?
I can't do it anymore. Trust me. There's some things I've stopped eating.
Well, it's got to play hell with your system. So does the Laotian grocery store just look like a junkyard with oxtail and baby birds? What other kind of weird stuff they have? Listen, you can hear my Asian listeners just jumping off the show now. Thanks.
They probably are. I'm not gonna lie.
But we picked up some high Greeks, some new high Greeks in the house. Heyo!
It really is, and it's just like you're going to any other. I feel like grocery store. They just have, of course, stuff that's in their culture. But I mean, you can get veggies there. You can get instant noodles there. I mean, sauces that they cook with. I mean, they're great little stores. I will say, living in New York, there's not a big Laotian community, and a big chunk of my best friends are Laotian. So I was very sad when I moved here because I was like, what happened to all the Laotian people? I was Googling to see if there was a community. Huh?
Oh, you were looking for little Laotia?
Just in New York, because in Ohio and Illinois, there's really big communities over there. So when I moved to New York, I thought it would be like that. In New York, it's primarily Korean, Japanese, and Chinese, which is great. I love all that food, but I've been so used to this other type of food. And Thai and Laotian food is very similar, so I can go eat Thai food, and it makes me feel a little bit better if I don't cook it myself. So
well, I'm a Thai guy. I'm a Thai guy, but I
love Thai food.
Jack can't talk Thai.
Oh no, Dina, Jack can talk Thai. Jack talk Thai very well.
I don't. I don't know. That Thai can be pretty normal for Asian food, considering the alternative.
Yeah.
But okay. So, where did you come from? Ohio?
I grew up in Ohio. I moved to Illinois when I was 28 years old to finish school. Because honestly, I was partying a little too much back in Ohio, and my shit wasn't together back then.
So, to finish college?
Yeah, I finished. Yeah, I moved to finish college because me and my ex, we broke up. We got back together, and he was moving to help his brother out with a business to Illinois, and because that's where he grew up at. But I met him. He lived in Ohio for a little bit, but then I just was like, if I stay in Akron, I feel like I'm not going to do anything productive with my life, and I got to get the hell out of here if I want to make something of myself. And I need to get away from the partying and just isolate myself for a while, and that's what I had to do. And I haven't been back in Ohio. I haven't lived in Ohio for 10 years now.
Wow.
But it's been a great fucking decision. It's been every move I made to Chicago, even to here, has been very life changing and very great, and very very proud of myself because of that as well.
Well, it's a different world you're living in there in New York. Or you said you're kind of in Queens, but I've visited a few times. Not for me, it's so fast.
You love or hate it.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm in the middle. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But you know what? I've never had anybody who lived there take me through it. The times I visited was either during Christmas, or I had a friend who lived in Connecticut, and we went down to the city for a day. And, but if nobody knows anything, you're just kind of, you're a tourist.
I didn't know walking up in here, I'm being honest. If I didn't have this really long rebound when I first moved here, I wouldn't have known about half the restaurants that I know now that I go to, and half the places to go hang out at. You really need to have a person that's lived here for a while to show you the ropes.
Yes.
Because I didn't know shit. I have no shit walking in here.
I got you. Okay. That's like cheating. It's
I cheated a little bit, but at least it's in a good way.
No, that's good. That's good. And you went to school for broadcasting, so you've got all the tips and tricks to the trade, but Howard's not calling yet.
Howard is like, I will never be speechless in my life unless it comes to two people. I need to meet Howard Stern because he's a big reason why I wanted to be in this industry, because I feel like I'm very much like him, where this is who I am, take it or leave it, and I'm never going to change.
Right.
And then Robert De Niro was like, yo, if I met Robert De Niro, I'd probably cry.
They're both right there in your backyard. I listen to the Pete and Sebastian show pretty religiously, and he's filming a movie with Robert De Niro right now.
Oh, I think he got hurt on set or something like that. He had to take some time off.
Yes. Well, no, on his current project, yes. Sebastian and them aren't going to start filming till like August or something. But yeah, he went down. But he isn't young. He's not young anymore. But he's a legend. I don't
love Robert De Niro.
Yeah, exactly. You don't ever just see him roaming around in the 7 million people that you pass every day?
No, my God, I'm telling you, I would be that crazy one that would run up, and I would just, no words would come out, and he would think I was crazy, or I got lost from my group that was supposed to be watching over me, and that would be it. I would freak out.
Then you would scare him away. You would scare him away. You know what? I don't know if I have that person. That's a good question.
You know me, I'm never speechless. So yeah, I think you do. You just don't realize it yet. There has to be one. There
was a point where I had a real job, and I think it was at a factory, and I was younger, and I never am at a loss for words. I'll talk to anybody. Anybody. I was at the bar the other night, and I was running the place, but. I'm working in this factory, and I think it's time for me to move up from a factory job to a desk job. And I'm like, I'll just go in there and talk to the dude, So I go in there and talk to him, and I was like, and I started sweating pretty profusely, and that's when I realized that.
The worst when that sweat starts, you're like, oh God, I'm fucked now. I'm fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just have to turn and run. I need a towel.
Down. I'm like, did I put enough deodorant on?
Well, and I went through a phase where I was on medication for whatever. And the sun or any kind of thing like that, it would just buckets would run. A good example, I was getting fitted for some new golf clubs, and I'm at this test screen, where you hit the ball into the screen, and you're taking a few swings with this iron and that iron, and I'm just sweating, and the guy's like, "Are you all right, man? I've never seen anybody sweat that much doing, just this basic swing for testing for new clubs." And I'm like, yeah, it happens all the time. Just got to change your clothes in the car. I just got to sneak out there, towel off. Don't worry about it. It's not as bad as it once was, though. I'm keeping it regulated, I guess. I don't know.
Keep it regulated.
Damn. But yeah, so it does happen. It doesn't happen that often, but I guess I could get choked up. But I've met a lot of people that are on my list. I've met a lot of them.
That's amazing, though. Good for you. Shit.
And what's hard is you go talk to them, and they're like, a good example is I was just with my daughter in California, bringing her back from college, and we stayed at this hotel, and it was a nice hotel. It was in Santa Monica, and I run into I go to get coffee in the morning, and I look over, and I'm like, God, that guy looks like Tom Segura. Like, But there's no way.
Oh,
He lives not far from here.
Okay.
So I'm like, how about the weather? That kind of bullshit. And he kind of kept to himself. And I'm like, it just can't be. And I think he's lost some weight too. But later that night, they had this happy hour in this fancy schmancy restaurant where from 5 to 6, everything was half price. So my daughter and I go down there and I'm just crushing drinks and we're eating and whatever. And this guy comes down, he's waiting to get in. And I look next to him and it's Christina. And I'm like, that's them. I tell my daughter and she's like, yeah, just, because we had just talked about how people do that.
Yeah.
Ooh, So he walks by and I'm like, hey man, are you Tom? He goes, yes, I am. I'm like, I said, it's good to see you. I'm not going to, he's got his kids and shit with. But then later on, he had to go to the bathroom and he came back and stopped at the table and we shot the shit for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And just
that's what I like. I like hearing stories like that. That's like, because I was just thinking the other day, I have this fear. It's like, when I make it out here, I'm like, I feel like there's going to be people out here I really admired. And I feel like half of them are going to probably be assholes. And I got to mentally prepare myself when I see that.
Yes. Well, and the other side of it is that, and I've got some 4 instances on this too, but I'm not bringing them up on here. But do you ever think that maybe someone like Tom Segura is a great example? Do you know Tom Segura?
I know. I started watching him last year, to be completely honest. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, or like Pete Corielli. Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. Those are my two. Whatever. I met both of them, but
great.
Just in passing. But I think these guys that I'm looking, like Robert De Niro is a legend. Everybody knows him. Everybody, he can't go anywhere. Where Tom Segura or Pete or Sebastian's getting outside of it, but I think they're still at that point where getting recognized is cool. There's got to be that window where you're like, hey, you recognize
awesome. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
And then you get to Robert De Niro level where you're like, fuck, just leave me alone. Like, I don't want to deal with this shit.
Let me walk out with my coffee.
Yes. And that's the part of this fame and whatever that people don't realize, that you can't go anywhere. You can't sit down at a cafe and do whatever. Because people just mob you. There's a basketball dude in town. I see him everywhere because he's huge. But he just moves around like normal. He's not a big anything at this point. He's retired. But I see him all the time, but I just, he's one person I just don't have any interest in talking to. He'd actually be really good for the show. He was the dude who married the Kardashian. And
Tristan Thompson. What's his name? Tristan Thompson. Is that it? Tristan.
No.
He married Chloe, right?
No. The main.
Lamar Odom.
No. Listen,
Who?
naming off like 7. I don't know.
The white guy. No, is he white?
He's white. He's a white guy.
Oh, Chris something. I think.
Yes, Chris Humphries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't live too far from me, and I see him everywhere.
Each one of them. That's crazy. That all dated basketball players. I didn't even realize that until now. Besides Courtney. Courtney has it.
Do that math.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess they had bought a house near here too, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's I'm not a Kardashian guy, but
I'm not. I could honestly care less about them. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I'm just like, it's cool. I really don't care what they're doing. I mean, I give them props because they're making their money, but besides that,
they're making shit tons of money and they haven't done anything.
Nothing.
It all boils down to being O.J. Simpson's fault.
Yep.
Because he's the one who got Mr. Kardashian in the limelight.
Yep.
And now look what we got to deal with. Jesus.
Thank you, Mr. O.J.
What's that other thing OJ did? I can't even think of it right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He murdered those 2 people.
Murdered.
So what do you do? What do you do when you're not pounding the pavement looking for that big break? What do you do? Like,
I've been, I've come to realize too, if I'm honestly not hanging out with my friends, I'm going to sound like that crazy cat lady. I'm chilling with my cats because I've come to really realize, especially being single, I like my peace and alone time, and people are out here acting like fucking idiots nowadays. And it's like, as soon as you walk out, there's people acting stupid, saying stupid shit, especially in New York. I mean, even more of the crazies have come out, So
well, you guys were locked down pretty good during the pandemic, right? Like
we were. One of my jobs closed on March 15th. Literally March 16th, the next day, I called my mom. I was like, I'm renting a car and I'm coming home to Ohio. And I was like, I'll only be there for 2 weeks. I ended up staying there till like a few days after Mother's Day. Cause I was like, I didn't know what was going to be. And the fact that I was completely alone over here on top of it, I wanted to be back with family for a little bit just because I didn't know how my friends are going to freak out of that, how they were going to act, or they were going to leave to go with their family. And I wanted to at least be around some people.
Well, and isn't that a thing too, though? Like once you get to Ohio, you're like, oh, I can breathe again. Like, I don't have to run when I walk out my door. I can just go at my own pace. Cause everything in New York seems to be so fast. Actually there's a nice little bus tour in Cincinnati. If you get back to Ohio, what is it, like 32 stops on the
32 stops. That's a lot.
I think there's like 32 stops. Yes, but the narration portion of it is amazing, and it will keep you interested.
Are you sure? Because 32 stops is a long time.
Just fucking try it. No,
I probably like, can we just get it done over with?
Maybe 26. You don't have to stay. You can get off the bus. I narrated this bus tour for this company, and God, now that you say that, that's a lot of stops.
That's a lot of stops. I'm gonna go in
August. I'm gonna go in August. My twins are playing the Reds, and I'm gonna take the tour. And
I don't know how it goes. I'll pray for you. You better have a flask with you, a lot of alcohol.
Well, the last thing we need is me getting kicked off the bus. That would look really bad to the guy who hired me. But he seems like a fun dude. He rents out those party buses. It's a cool deal.
That's cool. Party buses are fun.
Yeah, he's got like 12 of them or something. He does all right. Wow. But the pandemic killed him. Just killed him.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
And they were planning on doing this anyway. And there's not a lot in Cincinnati that people, it's like coming to Minneapolis, who cares? There's nothing happening.
Like, what do you do in Ohio for fun? I'm like, bars, restaurants. I'm like,
drugs, lots of drugs. They make that America's greatest pastime. I've never been to Ohio. It's on the list.
It's not bad. I grew up in Akron. It's a smaller city, but it's still a city. And I'm 30, 40 minutes away from Cleveland, and Cleveland's great. Cleveland's still up and coming. They've done a lot of improvements in Cleveland, especially in the flats. And I had a blast growing up and going to downtown Cleveland every single weekend and partying. It was great still, It still was better than being like out in the fucking country. So like, I'm not a huge country person, only for like a few days. And then I started going a little cuckoo, but I'm used to the place of New York now. But
that's cool. So now are you Yankees or Mets?
You know what? I'm still always going to be, I love Yankees, Cleveland Indians all the way has my heart, but Yankees. So I played softball for 8 years. So, I'm a huge into baseball. I don't watch it as much now because I don't have cable over here. And I tell people, I'm like, if you have cable in New York, I'm like, you're rich, because none of us want to get cable.
Really? Well, can you get like YouTube TV or something?
Well, I feel like everyone has everything. So we have Netflix, we have Amazon, we have Hulu. But, I get, until this pandemic, I get why people don't have it, because when I even first moved here, you're not home a lot to watch cable. When you're in New York, you are out. If you're not working, then you're hanging out with your friends, or you're going to a bar, it is very fast paced.
I don't get it. How do you afford to do that? Like, how much is a beer at a bar in Manhattan?
Okay, so in Manhattan, you can't go to Manhattan and hang out. I will say there's happy hours 7 days a week here, and you understand why now. So everyone wants to go for the happy hours. There's a lot of buy one, get one half off, buy one, get one free. You always want to go for those happy hour specials. That's what we aim to be there for.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You have to live on happy hour specials to really.
Who's the contractor that's called in to fix the less experienced contractor's mistakes? Who's the contractor who gets approval from the insurance company even after the homeowner has been denied? Who's the contractor that has worked in our community and for our community for decades? Grady Restoration. Roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. Call us today for a free home estimate. Grady Restoration. They'll get the job done in a timely fashion. The average roof lasts about 20 years, but you may have storm damage that you can't see, or you may need more repairs than your insurance says they'll pay for. In fact, 92% of homeowners accept what the insurance company tells them, which could cause much bigger problems down the line. Let Grady Restoration help you get what you deserve. Call today for a free home inspection. For roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, call Grady Restoration at 952-472-1570 or look them up on the web at gradyrestoration.com. Time to talk a little tech, something you may not be familiar with, but need to be. ExpressVPN. Did you know that sending unencrypted data is like sending a postcard through the mail? Everyone can see it. ExpressVPN protects you from hackers who try to steal your private information. ExpressVPN also gives you unrestricted access to all parts of the internet. This especially applies to those of us here in Minnesota, where Fox Sports North has decided not to work with anyone, so you can't get your favorite games on your TV. ExpressVPN allows you to reroute your connection to a server in a country of your choice, making geo-restrictions a thing of the past. ExpressVPN is offering my listeners 3 extra months when you sign up for a 12-month package. Go to expressvpn/the DK Project and click on the limited time offer for DK Project listeners. Start watching all the programming you want and unleashing stuff you didn't even know was out there. Netflix in other countries, Spotify in other countries, prices are different. What they're showing is different. Check it out. expressvpn/the DK Project.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so where you live, is that more like common man can afford to survive?
You know, I live in Queens. I live in Astoria. Astoria is it's getting very popular, like Williamsburg. But no, it's a very neighborhood vibe over here. It is like, I feel like it's a fucking Cheers half the times when you go to the bars around here. It's like Cheers. Everyone knows you got your certain bars. Everyone knows your name when you walk in there.
So is it kind of small townish? It's like small townish, like small town vibe?
I feel like it's, yes and no. I don't know how to really I don't know if that makes sense if I say yes and no. I mean, Astoria is pretty big, but still, it's like once you have your neighborhood that you're in, you tend to just migrate because you have to walk to a lot of bars unless you want to take a car somewhere, you know? So it's a very nice vibe. And I think this is how a lot of the bars survived in Queens, especially in Astoria, is because no one, especially when everything was closed down in Manhattan, everyone just wanted to stay here and walk to their local bars and go hang out when they could, you know? So
Right. Well, and
very great.
So did that you said before we got on there, you were talking about how many of these restaurants got hit.
Yeah.
How bad is it? Like, cause you guys got locked down, like ridiculous lockdown, right?
Oh yeah. It was not to change the subject, but now I'm just thinking about this. I literally, cause you know how like everyone was losing their shit over the toilet paper.
Yeah.
And so I have a balcony at my apartment. And I shit you not, yesterday, I see a roll of toilet paper in the street. And I said, are you shitting me? There's a whole roll of toilet paper in the street. And people last year were fighting over this shit. And I said, what a disgrace. I said, I could have used that toilet paper. How dare you put that shit in the street right now? I was sending it to my friends. I'm like, this is a fucking disgrace.
What do the kids call that? They call that flexing. Flexing.
Yeah, flexing.
Because you're so cool. Yep.
It was insane.
Well, look at this. Look at this. MacBook off. iPad off.
Off. Good shit.
Allow calls on other devices. I don't need it on any devices. I don't ever get phone calls. 2-in-1 show. Classy, huh? Welcome to the DK Project.
I agree.
We didn't get it real bad here. I live in a small town, so there's not a lot of we only have 2 or 3 restaurants, so it's not like it was too much of a hit, but I really feel like things are somewhat getting back to normal. You know, what's odd is the mentality of people. I own a small ice cream parlor that, I got 14-year-olds working there. And as soon as our dipshit governor decided to, lessen the restrictions. Yeah. And, and it was one of those things where he must have felt some backlash from something, because all of a sudden it went from like, well, you don't really need to wear them to, you don't need to wear them at all. If you have vaccinated, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I got 14-year-olds working up front, and we have a sign. Everything was like, you got to wear a mask to enter. My employees wear masks, blah, 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 blah. And people would come in and they would just chew these 14-year-olds apart about why they have to wear a mask in an ice cream store. And of course, I'm not always around, and my wife's not always around. So, it's my 14-year-old kids. This is their first job, and some asshole comes in and is just lighting them up. And it's like, dude, it's an ice cream store. If you don't want to, don't come in. Like, it's totally fine. So we actually had to just say, we got to stop. We got to, nobody needs to wear a mask, because if they're going to bitch at these kids, I can't get here fast enough to straighten out these dumb adults. But it's like, generally it was, middle to older aged people. And it's like, it's ice cream. It's not like you're coming in to donate plasma or get your cancer treatment. You're just coming in here to.
They just need something to bitch about. They got nothing going on in their life. That's honestly what it is.
It drives
if you really
me
have shit going on, this wouldn't even be a concern to you right now, honestly. Come on, get your shit together.
Well, and we it's pretty backed off here. Like there's a few people that wear them, but not really. And I'm totally cool with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever had it or whatever. I never had a positive test. I got tested a couple times and, thankfully I don't think anybody in my family got it either. My sister got it.
That's great for you. My mom and stepdad had it. I had it. My aunt and uncle had it. And I think every single one of my friends in New York had it as well.
Well, so how do you, so this is a big sticking point for a couple of people I know who have had the virus and they're not getting vaccinated. I don't need to get vaccinated. I've had it. But you've had it and you're getting vaccinated.
I got vaccinated. I was very I'm not going to get vaccinated. Screw that shit, blah, blah, blah. But I think really just after having it, and, I didn't have it as severe as, my mom had, and I thought she was going to die. I thought there was going to be a phone call saying that she was dead. It opened my eyes. It was very, very bad. My mom was in Ohio when she got it. She got it the week before Thanksgiving, and crazy. I got mine a few days after Thanksgiving over here. And it just was, at the end of the day, I was against getting it, but it's after having and seeing what my mom and my family and friends have gone through, I was just what's the point of not getting it? Just get it and shut the fuck up. Really what it comes down to, because the more people that get it, the cases are going down. It is doing what the hell they're saying it is going to do. And the quicker we get it, the more that we wear our masks, the more we're going to get back to normal life. And that's what these people just don't get sometimes. Fuck this. I'm we're never going to go back to normal life if you just don't start following a little bit of rules for a little bit of time.
Well, and I think that's, I was thinking about it today when I heard, and I don't talk a lot of politics, but when I heard again that there's still people in jail from the protest at the Capitol, for protesting at the Capitol, which threw me off. But I was just we really live in a time of kind of that participation trophy crybaby kid kind of thing where if I don't get it my way, I'm going to throw a fit until I get it my way. When in reality, it's these doctors, these politicians, all these people, this is what they want us to do. You get the polio vaccine so you don't get polio. You get, whatever, mumps and measles, whatever you get. I don't know. But it's just shut up and get it. And then we can somewhat go back to normal.
This is what I hate. I just turned 38 on a week ago. And I feel like this generation, or even a little bit of generation before me, everyone has turned into little bitches. No one just can shut up. It's just everything offends everyone all the time. It's why does everything have to offend you? Some things are just said to be said. It's just why does everyone have to take offense and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to troll you on the internet? It gets really annoying. I'm were people just not raised to have a backbone or spine anymore, honestly?
That's true. That's true.
Aggravating.
I think I found...
grow up.
I think I found my new favorite person. That's the truth, man.
It's true.
It's the participation trophy theory. It's that nobody wanted their kid to feel bad. They want everybody to get a ribbon. They want everybody to whatever, even though your kid sucks at baseball and your kid sucks at soccer.
Yeah.
Fuck. Maybe he's a swimmer. I don't know. I can't solve all the problems. Look at the feet on that kid. Put him in the pool.
Look at the feet on that
Jesus. Hey, I got a couple of news notes here that I wanted to run past you. So this one here was kind of interesting. So obviously when we're transporting truckloads of shit to somewhere, they're on the road. Things can happen.
Yeah.
On a highway, police in England, there was a truck that crashed and it was full of tomatoes. So it looks like a horror film because the trucks, the semi's laying there and there's just red shit everywhere because this thing, it was in Cambridge Cambridgeshire. I don't even know what the hell it is. But so they had to close down the highway and the whole bit. Thousands of squashed tomatoes. Can you believe that? 23 miles of road was shut down. Come on.
I was just thinking in my head, that's a lot of sauce for some, that's a lot of tomatoes for some sauce. The Italians yay.
Hey, ooh. It's not Greek food. That's Italian food. Yeah, what a waste.
Food.
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's funny about all of this shit happening with the pandemic. They'll come on the news and be like, food prices are going up. Stay tuned. We'll tell you why. Well, it's because there's a fucking pandemic, you moron.
We know why it's going up. We know why it's going up.
Now we know why tomatoes are so expensive. They're crashing the truck. Hey, there's a cat in Idaho. His name is Pat Malay. He's won the fucking lottery twice.
He won the lottery twice? What?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. Who did he pay?
Idaho man collected a $200,000 jackpot from a scratch-off lottery ticket 7 years after he won a $100,000 prize.
Who did he pay? I don't get it. Like that's some sketchy shit.
He looks
How
like
did he win twice? No one's that blessed.
No, I know. I can't even win once. God, I feel so stupid when I go check my tickets and it's like, you're not a winner. You're not a winner.
Like my mama told me I'm a winner. Fuck you, lottery ticket.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. I pull them back. I check them twice because I think it might be wrong sometimes.
You have to check them twice, and I scan them too.
Yes. Well, sure. because like just like when you go meet a person and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to care for them. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute. They got some personality. This could happen. That's what it is when it says you're not a winner. And then I give it a minute in case it wants to go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We'll give you a little something just for, because I'm thinking right now, $200,000, I'm probably going to be able to call that a push because I'm going to be breaking even at $200,000.
$200,000 would be great. I'd be happy with like
addiction.
50, 100, something. Hey, I'll take any type of free money.
I won $2 the other day and I was dancing around. Ooh. The guy thought I was nuts.
Nice.
$2.
I found money a couple times walking down the streets over New York. The most I found one day was $20, and I was like, "Thank you." And I just went and bought food right away with it.
Nice. They
shit.
there's a dude in Michigan who wasn't going to buy any lottery tickets. And the 52-year-old St. Joseph County man told Michigan lottery officials he was at Hoffman's grocery store in Three Rivers, stopped in at the lottery counter, and the lady said, "You need to buy these lottery tickets." And he won $300,000.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I need someone to tell me that shit. I'm like, thank you. A lot of lottery
news today. I don't believe it. God damn.
Man, these people are lucky. I mean, God bless them, but damn, if they're lucky. Especially, I understand, like, who's blessed that twice to win 2 different times? Like, that's crazy to me. I've never heard that.
I think,
especially like a bigger amount.
Yeah, right. Like just once I wanted to say, "See lottery office."
Right.
Instead of fucking, "You're a loser. You're a loser." They should change it to be like derogatory. So when you check it and you're not a winner, they're like, "Fuck no, loser." That'd be.
But you want to be one of the ones that gets set up with the big. So you know, like you would say, if you did win something big, if you want to have your face shown on TV or not. Like I don't want to have my face shown if I.
You know what I want to do? I want to be on TV with the big check, but I'm going to hold it in front of my face. So this is the big check with my legs. That's what I'm going to do.
That's good. I'm always have this fear I'm going to get like kidnapped, or they're going to try to kidnap me for ransom or something. I'm going to be like, no.
When you're trying to put that big bitch in the car, they're going to be like, "Hey, wait a minute. I think you might have just won the lottery." No.
I don't talk about it. I'm not seeing your face on TV. I don't know what to talk about.
I do. Well, I hope to someday have that problem. I don't know. I keep saying that if you don't play, you know you're not going to win. Where at least if you play, there's a chance. Yeah. There's a chance. Go
ahead. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine. 100-year-old twins for birthday. 100-year-old twins celebrate their birthday in Maryland. Did you hear that they're going to maybe, with all the shit going on in the world, that it's not out of the realm that we could live to like 125, 150 someday?
if I was still in my head a little bit, I would probably be like, let's see what 100 feels like. But if I can't feed myself, or if someone's got to change my diapers, I don't want to be around that long.
Once somebody's got to change my diaper, it's over.
Like, take me out back, like, Yeller, and just pull me out.
I'll do the push my wheelchair out into traffic and then look the other way. Although that would really ruin the day of somebody. Although by then we'll have the autonomous cars and there won't be a driver in it anyway.
That's true too. See? You never know.
Hey, then my family can sue Tesla because your driverless car hit my grandpa in a wheelchair. That's like winning the lottery. No shit. Hey, juggling on a Swiss ball. I can't even stand on one of those. This dude's juggling. Jesus. Strange
I saw
news
him
today.
struggling the other day eating apples as he was juggling. He was taking a bite of the apple each time. And I said, this is what you put on the internet. Okay.
Wow. That's stranger shit. You know what? I had promised the listeners this week that I was going to come up with strange shit on Olympic sports, since we're going to do the Olympics this year.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't come up with one. I dropped the ball. You know what? It was a short week. It was a holiday week. God, what do they want from me?
I can't believe it's already June too. Like, how did Memorial Day come and pass? I'm like, okay, now it's June.
Yeah,
It went from good.
Oh, we went from 60s to freaking it's 95 out there right now.
Yeah, I was sweating my ass off walking around here. I was like, oh, here's some humidity I forgot about. Like, it comes every fucking year that I always forget about.
Then in New York, you're gonna get a little more stank
as
you're walking around.
It's disgusting.
That's one of my favorite things about New York is you walk around and you can smell beautiful perfume and then dumpster shit right there. You're like,
oh. And the pee smell. I'm never gonna get used to smelling piss when I walk places. 5 years and it's still like hurts my nose. I'm just like, oh, get it away. Get it away. I've seen people peeing outside. I've seen people peeing in the subway. And I'm like, how am I not super fucked up in the head from seeing this shit half the time and smelling it?
Okay, so here's the question for the Ohio/Chicago native. Do you carry mace? Do you carry a gun? Do you carry a taser? What do you got?
So I have this little, so I had a knife, and so I had a knife for a little bit, and then I went to this music concert. I forgot it was in my pocket, and they took it out, and I was like, yo, I totally forgot that was in there, so they threw it out. So now I have like this little mace thing my father gave me. It sort of looks like a plastic gun. Let me show you real quick. Let me go get it, and I'll show you what I'm carrying around.
All right. All right, this is really good for audio listeners.
And then, this is what it looks like.
Get
and my
the
dad
hell
got
out of here. Where do you put that thing?
I carry a little thing, my side pocket. I think I'm a cowgirl every once in a while when I pull it out.
I think that's how that dude got shot here in Minneapolis.
What happened? Oh shit! I didn't do that.
The cop went. Oh, here's what we needed. The cop went for her taser, and it was a gun, and shot the guy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about. But that's something I had a couple comments on too as well. Like, I don't believe that shit. I'm sorry.
You just talked over the whistle.
Huh?
You just talked over the whistle.
Yeah, I
Podcast 101. Can you hear that?
Oh, no, I can. No, I can't.
You need to get some cans for your ears.
I know, I do. Oh, I have some actually.
Should probably say headphones. That's politically correct. So what do you got to say about that?
Well, what happened, and then you said with the guy getting killed.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think if you're 26-year veteran on the force, I think you know exactly. Yeah, that's what it said about her. I was reading the information before I I don't speak my opinion a lot about things.
So you think it was a
subject with friends.
You think it was an anger shot?
I think she did it. I think she knew it. The fact that you can't tell the difference between your taser, and they showed exactly what the taser looks like and shows exactly what the gun looks like. If you can't tell that, then you should never even be on the fucking police force. I think she did it intentionally, honestly. I think she's a piece of shit that killed someone intentionally. She knew exactly what she was reaching for when she did it.
Wow.
Yep,
and that's Kristen's final thoughts. No. It's funny. I like to ask people because I do think it's a tragedy, and I do think it was crazy. And same with George Floyd, both in my city. And but on both cases, if we weren't resisting arrest, we'd still be alive. Not that it justifies what they did, but you know what I mean.
You got to think about how these other people are, people that are not black, that are coming out, that aren't getting shot, that have just shot up a grocery store, that have to shot up a temple, and they're not getting shot. And that's the thing too. We all have to look at as well too. There is, and I hate saying this because my cousin's a cop, and I will say he's one of the good ones. But it's just like
he shoots everybody. He shoots everybody, not just black people.
He shoots, everyone, even the corn pastures, even cows he's shot before. I was like, cows matter too. Come on, man.
Oh, you know what? I think
we can just barbecue it later. When he shot the cow.
You know what? I was listening to a comedian today, and they were talking about how they were in the milk section at the grocery store, and somebody came up to him and asked if they were a baby cow, and he said, I don't. What do you mean? And well, if you're drinking cow's milk, shouldn't you be a baby cow? And he's like, I don't know. And evidently, this person was a vegan and pro almond milk. And he's like, I'm not a baby almond either. I'm like, whatever. But how weird is that, man? People are crazy right now. You got to be very careful. I'm a little taken aback by your funny looking taser. I think
I think that's something that you have to clearly know the difference, especially being a cop. And yours
even looks a little like a gun though.
And that's what I told my dad when he sent this to me in the mail. And I said, I don't want to really have this around anyone because people are going to probably think I have a gun and try to shoot me as well too. So it's like, I get very hesitant, but I at least have to have something to carry around when I'm here. I mean, I've only had one person, only one time in New York, I've caught trying to follow me home, and I caught him and he saw it. He turned back around, he walked the other way. But it's like, I do I'm 5'2", 104 pounds. It's like, I have to carry something to protect myself, but it is very, I really don't like carrying it, trust me, as much as I have to. It's not great. Really not trying to get shot, honestly.
It does the trick for what you need, and
yeah, it definitely does.
And I talked to my daughter. My daughter just switched from San Diego State to the University of Minnesota, and there's a lot more crime at the University of Minnesota. And I'm like, you're gonna have to, because I got her mace and everything when she was in San Diego. But I'm like, maybe we got to look at a taser or something now. Like, you're moving into a little rougher area than you're used to. But
you need to, for sure. Especially as a woman, she needs to have something.
I think you just have to be aware. As long as you're aware and you're and you don't catch. And then she actually was came back, and some friends go to this other school, and they went downtown drinking, because of whatever. And she felt like she got drugged at the bar. Her friend's cell phone got stolen, so they're talking to the cops, and it's just like, that's why we don't go downtown drinking. Downtown Minneapolis isn't safe. So she learned a good lesson, and hopefully she'll carry that with her.
I think it should be more, and even nowadays, since I was saying earlier, there's just a lot more crazies that have come out the woodwork since the pandemic started. So it's like you have to be even more aware on top of it, and it's. Even walking on the street, I have headphones in. A lot of times I won't even have music on because I still need to be aware. If I do have music on, I only have one headphone put in, not the other one, because I want to still be alert with what's going on around me.
That's a good idea. Because it's not Giuliani, New York anymore. It's kind of slid downhill.
Giuliani.
It's funny because when my brother-in-law lived in Connecticut, and we took the bus, or we drove to Brooklyn, and then we took the shit train, whatever that thing's called. What's it called?
The bus, the what? The
train?
Amtrak,
the one that goes under the ground. The subway. We took the subway.
Oh, the subway. I was like, what do you mean the shit bus?
The shit train.
That is the bus,
and we're sitting there waiting for the train, and he's like, don't look anybody in the eye. I had a nice watch and whatever. He's like, cover your watch up. Don't, I wouldn't even wear the watch. I'd put it in your pocket. You don't want to advertise. Then we get to Manhattan, and I'm like, dude, this is nothing. It's nothing.
It's nothing. Unless you're in a sketchy area, I don't ever think like that when I walk out of the house,
No.
I don't think of course, I feel like sometimes Times Square, you should be a little bit more aware because everyone's trying to make money. And I do feel like a little bit more pickpocketers are in Times Square, but really anywhere you're walking around here, no one's really trying to take your shit.
No.
You're very alert and aware of it.
God, I was just somewhere and they were really stressing the pickpocketers. Where the hell was that? Some foreign land I was in. That's
my cat, by the way. Sorry. You dismissed him. He was trying to jump on me.
Yeah. They,
debut.
God, what time? I think that maybe it was Costa Rica. A lot of pickpockets. I don't know where it was. It was weird though. I'm like, really? They still pickpocket? But whatever.
Yeah. I guess it's a thing still. Yeah. I know.
It happens. Kristin, we got to wrap this baby up. We are running long. We found some fun topics and some things to touch on. I hope that you will definitely be back. But we will. What's that?
I said with bells on.
Oh, well, and hopefully next time the pile of shit who's running the board here will turn his phone off so that we don't. I know. I
got to have a conversation with that guy later on.
You know what? Well, he may not be here next week. He may be fired.
Okay.
It happens. You know what? I edit it out of my shows, but it happens in almost every show. And I had this one. I had this one lady that I interviewed. It was my worst one ever because people set these interviews up for me, and I didn't know who this lady was, and I'm just like, whatever. And she had a heavy accent from somewhere, and she was actually a really big deal, like a big movie producer lady and whatever. And I'm just like, what was your name again? And then my phone rings, and I almost heard her go, "You're not very prepared, are you?" And I'm just like, I was just at a loss because I really didn't know, and I kept stuck because she did a show about pole dancing or something, and I wanted to do the interview because I'm like, hey, we'll talk a little pole dancing, but it wasn't that at all. It was like about how, it's like the stripper effect of strippers and how they do this to survive, and I'm like, So shortly after that, I get an email from the producer or the person who put it together. I can't think what they're called, but they're like, if you don't want to put that one out, you don't have to. Like, we're totally okay with that.
I mean, what is it? You don't want to.
And I still have it now that I think about it. I still am sitting on that one. I haven't released it yet.
Go back and listen to it. You probably get some good laughs out of it, too.
I should do is cut some excerpts out of it and use it as drops. But yeah, I felt bad. The lady was great. And she really was a big deal who knew her shit. But
at least she was a good sport about it, so that's great.
You know what? I can't knock it out of the park every week. I have to have some fails. And that was one of them.
A little bit of fails here and there.
Keeps me honest. So listen, podcast listeners, tune in next week, and maybe Kristin will be back. We've got El Tommy Chong coming up in a couple weeks, and some more fun interviews and more craziness. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to hit us up at the DK Project Podcast at gmail.com, or you can go through the website or social media, anywhere. Any way you want to get it to us, we'll get it. So thanks again, Kristin. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon.
That's it. That's the end.
That's a wrap.
Read the shtick.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. If you'd like to reach out, you can use the studio line at 612-504-6500 or by email, thedkprojectpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, there's always social media at the DK Project Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.